So, hello, Unheard Gems. Today we're joined by Jayne, who's an incredible young emerging artist from the UK. We're so excited to have you with us today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very good.
So, then, first off, just so we can all get to know you a little bit better, when did you first know you wanted to pursue music and when did you start working on music?
So I've done music pretty much my whole life. I say it's the only thing I'm really good at, so it was kind of natural for me. But I did flute and piano and singing like exams growing up. So it was very, very natural, and I started writing songs when I was about 9 or 10. So it's been a while now, like nearly half my life. But I kind of always knew that music was something I wanted to do, and I'm just very blessed to have it blossom so nicely.
And then, so, we kind of touched on this a little bit ago, so, you're only 19 years old.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that affects you as a musician, and do you think it sets you apart from other emerging artists right now?
Yeah, it's a weird, because there's a lot of young talent. There's a lot of talent in general, just everywhere. Like I'm still finding so many just artists like constantly, and they're just amazing. And I feel being younger um is really nice because it means that I still have a lot of time and more space to grow as an artist, because that's the main thing. Like I want to do music basically forever, however long that may be. And my kind of thing is that I'm quite lucky because I'm a bit younger and I've got more time to develop and things. But no, yeah, it's good. It's nice being a bit younger, and it means I don't feel like I don't that I might be getting a bit too old, even though I'm turning 20 and I'm a little bit paranoid about hitting the next decade. But no, yeah, it's good.
And so then, more onto your music. So, when you write, what is your normal process if you have one, or is it different every time?
It is kind of different every time. Sometimes I'll just be out and I'll see something and I'll be like, "Ooh, this is a good idea to write a song about." And other times I'll like pick up a title. I love little phrases people use. I don't know what you really call them. They're like, especially like little English phrases that people have, and things, and they're like the old ones that you don't really hear very often, and things. And I like a lot of them, and I read a lot of like quotes and that kind of thing, and I find them quite inspiring. But most of the time, it's when I'm in not too much of a bad mood, but I'm not in the best mood, and I'll be like, I write a song, and I would just sit down at my piano and I'll just like press some notes until something makes sense, and I literally will just start singing, and I'll always record it, because that's the worst thing when you write something really good and then go, right, that was good, but what was it, and then just completely forget it. But no, different every time depending on how I feel and everything.
And so, you said that you're not always in, like, the best place, like, not a bad place, but not the best. So, do you think that's what you're drawn to write about, or do you get inspiration from other things in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I always try never to write too, like, from myself, because I worry that people be like, oh, it's another song about her, like, God, think of something else to write about. But like, generally they do. I always that I can never write too happy. Even when I want to write a happy song, because I don't really write happy songs anyway. But I can never write when I'm just too sad, because I find either the songs are really depressive and they shouldn't go out anywhere, or I'm just never as creative. It's like pretty much like a science in a weird way. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like to write about things that I've been through or seen people close to me go through, because then you can really just encompass like their emotions and what they're feeling. I think that's always really nice in music.
Yeah. And then, do you have a favorite song that you've worked on and why? And it can be a song that's out, or one that's yet to come out, or one that will never come out.
Yeah, I have. Actually, I have to admit, there's one song, and it's on my EP, which is coming out at the end of this month. Actually, on the
Wow,
29th.
congrats.
Thank you. It's been a lot of work. The we've just finishing it right at this moment. We're just going through the last like revisions on the masters, and one of the songs on it, actually two of them in effect, but one of them especially is called Fool, and it just has always sat really nicely with me. Like I like it because it's a bit like, it's not sassy, but it's not. It's just it's like me, but like a cooler version of me, and I like want to be cool. And it is, and it's nice, got like a really cool feel, and I'm really proud of it as well, because I try to play guitar. I'm not very good at guitar at all, and I've tried to learn, but I just no, it's not going to happen. I have really like small hands, and it hurts my fingers. About 11:30, and my producer was round at night, and we'd worked from about 10 in the morning, and it was basically midnight, and he was asleep on the sofa having a nap because he was just too tired, and I was there like, I need to get something done on this song, and I was there, and I had like 4 cups of coffee, and I was just playing the guitar, and it sounded really good, and then I just put loads more like layers in and stuff, and it just ended up becoming such a cool track, and oh, I love it. I've listened to it like too many times. But no, I really love that one, yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. And like, congrats again on that EP. That's going to be a big deal, and I'm really excited to hear all of it.
Thank you very much. It's not long to go now. No, it's called Shadows too, which is pretty edgy. No, it will be really nice.
And then, how would you go about labeling your sound and your style of music? And do you think it's important to have labels in music on like the type of genre it is?
It's a weird one because I quite like when other artists have a sound, but all their songs are different. There's one artist I love, I don't know if you guys have heard of him, called S.G. Lewis, and he does kind of like soul-tronic, electronic, but it's just really good, and every song pretty much will have you like up, dancing, like it's just such good music, but then every song is really different, and that's what I love. And with my style, I think my stuff so far has been quite eclectic, because I've had four songs out up until this point, and the latest one's more ballady and pretty, but still electronic. And before that's a bit more like summery, which is weird because I should have released it in summer. And then the ones before that as well, very different. But I feel like now with my genre, which I don't really know how to define it, I always say that it's a bit like poppy, like commercial, but then also electronic and a bit alternative. And especially with the EP, it's kind of got Fool and Shadows, which are very kind of commercial, but a bit more like alternative indie electronic, a bit more guitars and stuff, a bit more moody, very full, really cool tracks, and one that's a bit more like summery. But I always say that I'll just make the music that I like and I want to listen to, and that's what I always do. Like when I write a song, I listen to it and go, would I listen to this? Like, would I really like it, or would I like go, this is cool, and then go over to the next song? And that's what I always try and do.
That's really cool. And then, so what is one lesson you've learned through music that's really helped you to think about who you are as an individual and as an artist, and what advice would you give sort of along that line?
I've been quite lucky. I've had lots of people who have given me a complete spectrum of advice, like some very, very weird things. I think that one thing that's very important is that kind of that you do the music that you like, and you don't what I always try and do as well, and I guess it's my advice in a way, is I don't like to show my stuff to too many people, my songs, even things like cover art or like anything. I don't like to show people, because ultimately it's my career, you know, it's someone's career, and you should only have people that you really like care about their opinion advising you. So like my person's my mum, and then maybe one or two of my friends, but I think it's very important that you make the songs that you like and everything, otherwise, you know, you might regret certain bits. And I think as well, just one piece of advice my mum has always told me, which actually from Doris Day, it's a quote she got from her, which was, always sing like you're whispering a secret to your best friend. And it's something that's always nice subconsciously to remember, because in any kind of music, you're telling a story, and you're telling something normally that's come from yourself, or means something. And I think people sometimes, and I do myself, you disconnect from the lyrics, and you just got to really sing what you mean. That's very important, I think.
Yeah. And then I have one final question. So that would be, if you were to recommend one growing or unheard gems type artist or musician, who would you recommend?
Oh, the pressure. Well, I don't actually know. I mean, there's some a bit more well known. I said, like S.G. Lewis, who I will always rave about forever. And I always say Zach Abel, who isn't actually that big in this. Well, he kind of is, but I think he's gonna do so well. He's great. And people like Tom Misch, that kind of stuff. But I mean, I always try and find new music through like things like yourselves and other stuff, and that's always really nice. And I have a couple of friends actually who are making fantastic music, because I'm at a music university. There's one guy called Terrell Trey who makes like R&B, soul, really nice voice. And I see him doing really well. I'm going to call it now, but I see him doing really well. But yeah, I love, it's a difficult question actually. But no, I mean, there's just so many artists out there, so many new ones who are really, really good. Yeah. But no, really good.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and we'll be sure to listen to your EP when it comes out. We're super excited for that.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for your time.
You're something new, something old. Your touch, it feels like home. You're someone pure in their soul. There's no way I'd let you go. So tell me, if the stars align, would you ever be mine? Or could they let our worlds collide? Even if it's just for one night, maybe we could have it all. Maybe we could jump and fall, but we can't get it right. If the stars align,